Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I'm still not. I'm still reeling over what happened in America. I'm deeply concerned for Donald Trump, concerned for his family. I know that the establishment, the swamp, from both sides, the Dems and the Rhinos, they are going to try and punish him for daring to challenge what they see as their God-given right to rule, not to govern like a normal person, but not to govern, to rule America. They see it as their right to do that. And they don't react kindly to usurpers or who they would consider usurpers or challengers to what they believe is their rightful power. So in this video today, we have two clips to watch, one of Kayleigh Mcenany and one of Kamala Harris. You're going to see the astounding difference between the way the mainstream media, who, as we've said, is essentially the propaganda arm of the Democrat Party, how they treat the difference. The way they treat this woman, you can see Kayleigh Mcenany on your screen, the way they've been treating her and Sarah Sanders before her, the way they treated them was disgusting. Keep in mind, because you're going to see them, they actually freak out. They actually disintegrate. Bear in mind, these are the people who will look you straight in the eye, as I'm looking you in the eye now, and try and tell you that they are unbiased, professional. I love this phrase. They call themselves consummate professionals. They'll look you straight in the eye and tell you that, even though you know it is the exact opposite of what they say. Anyway, let's get into this video. So if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell and share this video around. Only takes a couple of minutes to share it, retweet it on various different platforms. That really helps this small channel grow and helps us combat the censorship that we all find ourselves under. Okay, let's go. Okay, so first we have what Kayleigh Mcenany has to say.
To deliver this message on behalf of the entire White House. Let me be clear. The violence we saw yesterday at our nation's capital was appalling, reprehensible, and antithetical to the American way. We condemn it, the president and this administration, in the strongest possible terms. It is unacceptable, and those that broke the law should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I stood here at this podium the day after a historic church burned amid violent riots, and I said this: the First Amendment guarantees the right of the people to peaceably assemble. What we saw last night in Washington and across the country was not that, end quote. Make no mistake, what we saw yesterday afternoon in the halls of our Capitol likewise was not that. We grieve for the loss of life and those injured, and we hold them in our prayers and close to our hearts at this time. We thank our valiant law enforcement officers who are true American heroes. What we saw yesterday was a group of violent rioters undermining the legitimate First Amendment rights of the many thousands who came to peacefully have their voices heard in our nation's capital. Those who violently besieged our capital are the opposite of everything this administration stands for. The core value of our administration is the idea.
See, they have to open their fat mouths, don't they? Like, I'm not sure if you could hear that, but I'll try and enhance the audio. But someone just shouted out, I don't know, I think he shouted out lies or something like that. Because, right, this is the thing about these. This is the thing, right? These people, these urinalists, they will look you straight in the eye and tell you that they are they love this phrase, consummate professionals. Oh, they're professional something. They're professional spin doctors. I'm not sure if that's a phrase you have in America, but a spin doctor, here what we call a spin doctor is someone who fabricates the truth, who takes the truth, spins it politically, and then turns it into a story or a fabrication. Now, the problem with modern journalists, apart from the fact that they act as the propaganda arm of the Democrat Party, and they're completely open about it, really, in many aspects. Apart from that, their biggest problem is they start with an answer they want. They have an answer to any subject, whatever the subject is, that they want to give you. They then set about massaging, fabricating, constructing the question so that the question leads to the answer they want to give you. That's not journalism, that's propaganda. They're propagandists. They would do well to learn that. But they will look you straight in the eye and tell you that they're unbiased. They just want to give you the truth. If they did, if that was what if they were just reporting, they wouldn't shout out like that. Lies, you're lying. I'll go back, see if you can hear it. If not, I'll try and enhance the audio. But someone in the back shouted lies.
That all the core value of our administration is the idea that all citizens have the right to live in safety, peace, and freedom. Those who are working in this building are working to ensure an orderly transition of power. Now it is time for America to unite, to come together, to reject the violence that we have seen. We are one American people under God. Thank you very much.
Just listen to that. Listen to them. It sounds like a turkey. You know, like a turkey, the noise it makes. Or like pigeons, loads of pigeons. Pigeons kind of make that noise. It kind of goes like... It's like loads of turkeys, loads of pigeons who all work for CNN, MSNBC, or MSNDC as I like to call them, ABC, NBC, BuzzFeed, and all these, Salon. These are your fact checkers. Salon and BuzzFeed. Clickbait, ragebait, rubbish. It's cheap toilet paper. If you can't afford a luxury toilet paper, because all the smooth brains have ran in there and took it all, because the mainstream media have riled them up in a state of fear and panic over Rona, then go and get yourself yesterday's Salon or BuzzFeed, and you can use that as toilet paper, because that's all it's worth. In fact, they should give it away free as toilet paper, because that's what I use it for. Listen again at the noise, the cacophony that these people who will look you in the eye and tell you that they are journalists, unbiased, consummate professionals.
We are one American people under God. Thank you very much.
And these, listen to them. And these people lack the self-awareness. There seems to be a problem. Look, I try and be unbiased myself, I do. But there seems to be a problem with the people who come under the umbrella of left-wing, or what we colloquially term left-wing, who they seem to have a universal lack of self-awareness. They seem to be not able to look within themselves. What do I mean by that? I mean that they honestly are perplexed as to why Miss McEnany refused to take any of their questions. They aren't there to ask questions to get to the bottom of things. They aren't there to ask questions and then report back to the people. They are there, as I said earlier, because they have an answer. They had an answer that they want before they came into the room. Now they want to massage, construct, or fabricate the question to fit their narrative, to fit their answer. Okay, she knows that. She's been dealing with them for years now. And before her, who was it? Miss Sanders, wasn't it? Sarah Sanders, that's it. Sarah Sanders, who was the presser before Kayleigh Mcenany. She was the same. She got this treatment from them as well. Just a cacophony of adult children. Adult babies shouting because Kayleigh Mcenany won't stand there and be harangued by these people. Disgusting. Honestly disgusting. She's called for unity. She's called for peace. Trump did it yesterday. They've both been censored. They've both been shut down. They both get shouted at. Anyway, now let's move on to Kamala Harris. Now, Kayleigh Mcenany has just called for unity. There's going to be a smooth transition, even though we all have huge doubts over what happened a couple of months ago. I'm sure you know what I mean. She's still calling for unity. She's still saying there's going to be a smooth transition. Now let's mark that compared to Kamala Harris. Okay, so we have Kamala Harris.
In our nation's capital was, as the president-elect has called it, an assault on the rule of law.
Sorry to interrupt it so quickly. This is the woman who's looking you in the eye through the camera. The woman who contributed and promoted a bail fund for BM and Antifa types who did far worse for far longer. And now she's looking you in the eye and she's talking about attacks on the rule of law.
And it has no place in our democracy.
These people, these people.
I believe we must ask ourselves.
And now she's talking about democracy.
Two questions about what happened yesterday. What went wrong? And how do we make it right? And I believe the answers require us to recognize that the challenge we're facing in our country is about more than the actions of the few we watched yesterday. It's about how to reform, how to transform a justice system that does not work equally for all.
In other words, what she's saying is, those few people yesterday, because there was only a small number of people who actually went in there, they should be punished beyond the rule of law. That's what she's saying. This is the same person who provided bail funds and tweeted, put all over her social media, the fund for people who were doing far worse. They were burning out cop cars. Look what happened to David Dawn in Minneapolis. Okay, look what's happened to all of the Trump supporters. All of it that's happened month after month after month, day in, day out. Look at those U-Haul vans full of essentially gear and equipment to be used to launch attacks on cities. We saw them. Antifa, BM. That's organisation. What happened in DC the other day was terrible. Of course it was. But that was a spontaneous thing. She should know this. As a former prosecutor, she should know that a spontaneous action or a spontaneous crime is not as aggravating as something that is premeditated. And as the likes of BLM or Antifa turning up with U-Haul trucks full of gear, that's premeditation beyond a doubt. And those people are being funded from somewhere.
A justice system that is experienced differently depending on whether you're white or black.
And there you go. So, Kayleigh Mcenany and Trump, even though they've been severely hard done by, they've been dealt a real bad blow, they're calling for unity. What does the Democrats do? And bear in mind, this woman, she's going to be your next president. You know that, don't you? She won't be elected. She will be given it. She will be given it. Right? Depending on whether you're white or black. And there you go. Driving a wedge between white and black. Driving a wedge between man and woman. Driving a wedge between left and right. Driving a wedge between Democrat, Republican. Driving a wedge between whatever you want. Put two different things in there. Whatever they are. That's what matters to these people.
A justice system that is experienced differently if you're rich or poor.
There you go. What did I tell you?
A justice system that's different depending on whether your job requires you to take a shower before you go to work or requires you to take a shower when you come home after work.
How ridiculous is that statement? How ridiculous. I've worked night shifts in warehouse. I've worked day shifts in cold storage. I've worked on a production line on the early shift. What are you talking about? Honestly, that's just a preference. That's just a preference.
We witnessed two systems of justice. When we saw one that let extremists storm the United States Capitol, and another that released tear gas on peaceful protesters.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And look, she looks at you with that smile on your face. Remember what I said about the way that they'll look at you? They think you are stupid. They think you are beneath dirt. That's what they think when they look at you, right? That's what they think. And me, when they look at me, all of us. They will look you in the eye and refer to them as peaceful protesters. And the talk about last summer is still going on. Ted Wheeler got attacked the other day in Portland when he went out to dinner, because he's still allowed to go out to dinner, you see, by his friends, his best friends. So the small group of people, out of all those people that were there in DC, that makes all of them extremists. Yet, day after day, night after night, highly organised people belonging to her side of the divide, a divide she and her sort created, they're peaceful protesters. Still, they bring the narrative. I hope if you did vote for Biden, I hope you're happy. I hope you like what you've got. I think it's crabs in the bucket. I think if you voted for Biden, you just want to pull people down. That's what I think. Biden and Harris. I think you just want to pull people down. You can't want a better world. Not really. Not really. Look, let's just carry on. It's winding me up.
The American people have expressed brightly outrage.
So what did they do with your...
We know this is unacceptable. We know we should be better than this.
That smug look on her face. It's that smugness. She thinks she is better than you. She is convinced down to her bone marrow that she is worth 10,000 that you are.
The promise of our country is that all people will be treated equally.
So why do you keep separating them then? You keep trying to pitch white against black, rich against poor, as you said earlier, man against woman, left against right, Democrat against Republican. That's the thing that matters to you. And now you're talking about people being treated equally, when you're trying to treat people unequally. I saw you tweet out the bail fund for BLM and Antifa.
That's what the rule of law is supposed to be about.
And you would know that because...
That's what the ideal of equal justice under law is all about.
Oh my goody aunt. So there you go. We'll stop it there. She gets a round of applause from the mainstream media. Jim Acosta himself has said that he's not going to go as hard or as aggressive on the Biden administration as he did on the Trump. Of course he's not, because they're on the same team. I'm not sure how many legacies Trump is going to have, but one of the legacies I do know for sure that he is going to have is that he has shown those people, and this is an important caveat, those people who have at least 2 brain cells to rub together, okay, at least, right? Because there's a vast swathe of people who don't, as we know. But for those people who have a minimum system requirement in their brain, they know that the mainstream media, and this is a legacy, one of the legacies of Trump, they know that he has shown the world that the mainstream media are a propaganda arm for the Democrat Party, or in any other country in the Western Hemisphere, insert establishment or insert left-wing party, okay? Fact checkers have been shown to be spin doctors, and so-called conspiracy people have been shown, in many cases, not all, but in many cases, been shown to be the true fact checkers, or at least independent content creators have been shown to be far more adept at checking facts than Salon or BuzzFeed or any of the other toilet paper manufacturers have ever been shown to be. Yeah, if you are on social media, especially Twitter, in my place, Twitter is divisive, evil, and should be banned. If you go on there, you'll see that there are no shortage of smooth brains. No shortage at all. Who will lap up everything Biden and Harris have to say. Every single thing. As for the people in DC yesterday who did get into the building, I understand your anger, but I wholeheartedly condemn your actions. You haven't contributed to our movement. They've been waiting for years for conservatives to do something like this. They've been waiting for years because they've been trying with increasing difficulty to hold on to their propaganda that left-wing people are peaceful, especially after all of the actions in many cities for months now, and you gave them what they want. Now, not only will they suppress all of that, they will bring to the fore every single time from now until the end of the time the actions in DC the other day. They will keep doing that. They will use it as a cudgel to bludgeon us in the conservative movement. Like I said, I understand the anger, but you didn't do us any favours at all. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video around. I've got to get this woman's face off my screen because it's irritating me. It's almost as irritating as her voice, or that silly glazed over look she has in her eyes. That's a sign of evil. That's a sign of the devil. Do you know that? It's a sign that a devil controls what's inside them when the eyes all go glazed over like that. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.